The one thing that you're going to be missing if you own a Tesla Model 3 or a Tesla Model Y is a display in front of you that gives you some information. On the Model S and X, they have this, and other cars, they have this. But that's one thing that owners of the 3 and Y kind of miss. And today, I am going to install an OLED screen, a high resolution screen in front, and I'm going to show you all of the functionality of it. So the first part of this video, I'm going to show you the install process. The second part of the video, I'm going to be showing you all the features of having this OLED display in your car. So I'll be installing it on my 2024 Tesla Model 3 Performance, but like I said, if you have a Juniper Model Y, you can install this on it. It's the same thing. So here is what the kit comes with. This little opening here. Also, in case you were wondering, it does come with a quick start guide. So you have the QR codes for an installation video and then the installation manual. All of that is included with the kit, but your boy's gonna do it for you to cut out any unnecessary work. So here is the device itself. It's a beautiful little display here, and I'll show you how the install goes. The install does not look that bad, but we'll talk about that later in the video when we have a little bit more experience. Now, this is everything that the kit comes with. It even comes with this pry tool and the zip ties necessary to keep everything in place. And then you put this harness in on the passenger side, and you can even see it says Model 3 Highland on it right there. So we're gonna get this all installed. It should be very straightforward. The first thing to do in this install process is power off your vehicle, and that is under safety if you scroll all the way to the bottom. Then we're going to go over to the passenger side and remove the weather stripping. And it's actually easiest to start this process kind of midway up the passenger side door. It just pulls right off, and that'll give you access to this plastic side cover, which if you take the pry tool that Viki's provided, you can just pop it right off. Then what you need to do is remove this pin just below the bolt that you can see here. Again, I just take the pry tool and pull the pin out, and that releases this carpeted section. After the carpeted section is removed, it's basically just attached by some clips. You will have full access to the harness, which is just plug and play. So you detach this part and then install the harness provided by Viki's, just as you see here. And then the part that says Model 3 Highland that you can see, that just stays open. You leave that there in case there's anything else that you would connect in the future. It just keeps that port open, so don't worry about plugging that in to anything. The final thing you will need to do on the passenger side of the car is install this signal processor, so that just clicks right in with this, and now the harness section is complete, and we'll just tuck that all away and cover it back up with the carpeting. So now let's head over to the driver's side. The first thing you're going to do on the driver's side is get the steering wheel in its most outward and lowest position. So get it all the way telescoped out and then lower it all the way. This is going to give us the access that we need to install the rest of this OLED display. Now you have full access to the back of the steering column, and it just separates, as you can see right here. So you need to carefully separate this part of it and remove the steering column's upper cover. So this part has been the hardest part of the process so far. This is a brittle plastic. It's a harder plastic. So you just need to get, I took the pry tool and just put it between these two sections that separate, and eventually it just kind of popped. Not worried about it breaking or anything like that. I just wasn't sure the best way to do it. So that is what I did, and I got one side of it up so far. And again, it's just a bunch of plastic clamps. So I'm just going to do the same on this side. Get it under here. And there we were able to get the rest of it. So yeah, kind of, this has definitely been the most tedious part, but again, you just need some patience, and then this just kind of pops off and removes just like that. So there's a look at the clips that you're fighting underneath there. So nothing too crazy, and I never felt like it was going to break, just wasn't sure the best way to get access. So again, take this pry tool and just get it right in this seam right here and just kind of wiggle it like this, and eventually it'll pop. This is by far the hardest part of this install. It's tricky, but we did some troubleshooting and finally got it. So what we did was we connected this camera to put it down through the steering column to actually see the path to get this plastic through that Viki's includes in the kit to fish it down through. So this camera allowed us to see which way to get through and then fish the line back up. So now from here, we'll be able to tape on this USB-C plug right here and then fish it down through, and then the rest of it, it plugs right into the OBD, and it's very simple. So By far, this is the hardest part because you have to fish it down through and you can't really see what you're running into. It should feed out through, as you can see here, right down by the brake pedal. It should be by the brake pedal or just right of the brake pedal over by the gas. So just so you're aware, this part is tough. You kind of just have to play with it and eventually it comes through. But getting this camera, I'll have the camera down below as well. And it's actually kind of cool because you can see all kinds of things. But yeah, so the hardest part is now done and then we'll get to the functionality of it. So now that the plastic is totally fished through, you're gonna take the USB-C. We're gonna use some Gorilla Tape brought to you by Cameron Alford in the Karma Speed Garage. Shout out Cameron for saving the day here. Without him, I would be in a mental asylum. Okay, so now this is all locked in together and we're just going to fish it through, hopefully. Wow, just went right through. That's crazy. So my advice to you, if you're fishing this through, you don't have the camera, keep it up and to the right, and then it seems to, it just pops right through. You're able to feed it down there. So now we're gonna put in the OBD2 port, plug this in, and it'll be up and running. Now we're gonna take this alcohol pad here, alcohol, and we're going to clear off the surface to give us maximum adhesion. Okay, so that's all good. And then you align this arrow with the very front center right in here, just like that. So once you get that aligned and you wiped it off with alcohol, we're gonna rip off the adhesive layer. And I'm not putting a ton of pressure on this. This is a fragile piece. So not a ton of pressure, and it is really on there, Jesus. And you take this little box here, and you put it down in the side, and then you can take one of your zip ties that's left over and actually just tie it up to the other wires that are in there just to reduce the chance of any rattling or anything like that. Then from here, it's very simple because we're just clamping this all back into place. So that's clean, very simple. Now the final step here, we'll pull off this. And then this little alignment device here slides right in and it fits perfectly on. And that shows you where to put the edge. And it's nice because it runs wireless power to the heads-up display. So there you go, it comes alive, shows our temperature, mileage, the time of day, and we're in park. Doors are open. Really nice looking display here. And there we go. All right, so we're just cruising along here. You can see the display in front of me matching up perfectly with this. It's also kind of nice that it shows you, so I can have battery percentage up here, and then I can have the miles on here. The other thing that's interesting is the great thing about Teslas are they have over-the-air updates. So if you have an older model, you get all of the new updates that the new models coming out have. This has the same thing, and you have an app, you have the Vkeys app, which you can download and run all of your over-the-air updates to this device. It shows your turn signals on, shows you the time of day, all of that stuff. It even shows, let's see here. There, if we have our autopilot on, everything turns orange. And that's a cool feature as well. Your little turn signal pops up. Yeah, it shows the regenerative braking there, the little orange strip. And then it also has blind spot detection. So you see the cars coming to pass us on the left here, and then that lights up for the blind spot detection. That Chrysler 200 just had to hammer past us. But yeah, it's a really nice display in front of you. I love the coloring of it. It's very clear. It's an OLED display, so the quality cannot get better. It shows your regen, shows your acceleration, and it's all very concise. So I think this is a really nice device. The toughest part of it is just fishing that cable through to get it all installed. I love the fact that it has the over-the-air updates, continues what's great about Tesla, and extends that into this accessory from Vkeys. Another issue, if you have a really big screen in front of you here, is your air conditioning will be blocked in your face. So I tested it. I put the air conditioning directly on my face, and it's because the device is so small, it's able to still work the air around it and blow onto your face. So that's all good too. You don't have to worry about the air conditioning being blocked. So not only is this an OLED display making it look crystal clear, just like Tesla's infotainment system, it just looks like it blends in with the rest of the vehicle because of the high quality. Also, the ambient lights can be customized through the app, and so you can change what it looks like at night. Really gives it an OEM Plus look, and then there's no cables that are going to get in your way. I really appreciate them sending me this product. I have a lot more coming from them. They're very high quality products. They're well thought out, and I'll be installing those on some of my cars. So now if you want to see more accessories for your Tesla Model 3 or Y, click this video right here. That will be very helpful to you, and accessories that I've used for many years now.